What's up, ladies and gents? Because we do have some men that watch this podcast. Shout out to y'all. But welcome in, ladies and gents. You guys are watching the Women's Vault podcast. So, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video, to this channel. Follow the Women's Vault podcast on Instagram. Go ahead and stop watching now to go follow us on Instagram. We hit 100 followers this week, so shout out to y'all for doing what needed to be done, okay? So today's episode, we are focusing on something that is very key to making sure that you feel like your best self, right? And what we're going to be talking about is your self-worth. So today's episode is going to be called You Are Enough, Rediscovering Your Self-Worth. So before we get started, if anybody needs this reminder, let me be the first to say that you are enough. Sugar Plum, you are more than enough, just as you are where you are right now in this moment. A lot of people, and I could include myself in this, a lot of people will allow their situations and the hardships that they go through they'll use that to determine what their self-worth is. And let's just be honest, if we continue to seek that outside validation, meaning that we're seeking validation within ourselves from other people, from situations, we're seeking that validation from friendships or whatever the case is. If it's anything outside of yourself and the God that created you, they shouldn't have anything to do with how you view yourself. And so, me personally, I have always struggled with maintaining a positive self outlook on myself. It's something that I've always actively worked on. And it's something that people should always actively work on, because if you think about it, it is so easy for these situations and people around you that could possibly be influential to your life. It's so easy for something to happen or for something to be said, and now you're picking apart who you are and how you are and trying to figure out, am I of this specific caliber, when you should feel that way about yourself regardless of any situation, regardless of who said what, how whoever feels. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but just because they have an opinion doesn't mean that their opinion is fact. Does not mean that their opinion is law. And so with me personally, I could say that I would say after abusive ex is when I started to really feel myself. Because with abusive ex, I lost the little bit of self-worth and confidence that I had walking into that relationship. I lost everything. When I left him, like when we were done, I wouldn't even say I was depressed, but just like I didn't feel confident. I felt like I was ugly. He used to always pick at how I dressed, or always feeling like he needed to get me together and stuff like that. So like it was a lot of things from that relationship. Him cheating on me with someone else and having a baby with someone else. Like it was a lot of things that damaged my sense of my own worth. And so, if you don't know, I think I said it in a video before, but I used to do pole dancing classes. And then after a year of me going hard at that, I began teaching beginner level pole dancing classes. And so I could say for sure, I always say that pole saved my life. And I would say that pole definitely saved my confidence. This is before I had my son, and just being able to move freely and to just release any type of insecurities I may have had through the movements and the dance, and just learning new tricks. And because pole dancing is honestly truly hard. First and foremost, shout out to strippers that actually work the pole, because I just know that cannot be easy. Like platforms are very easy to like walk in and dance in. I've worn platform heels for like 8 hours plus, and like my feet never hurt. So like they're comfortable, but like the amount of strength and like stamina that you need to have to be able to dance on the pole, do tricks, and then get down and do whatever stage dance you doing, however that works. Because I've never been a stripper. I just did pole dancing classes. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Y'all the real MVPs. Real MVPs. Be up there splitting in the air, booty shaking, clapping, all of that. Shout out to y'all. That take a lot. That take a lot of work. Anywho, but yeah, I would definitely say that pole saved my life, saved my confidence, and when I started to feel good within myself, with that, it started to carry over into a lot of different areas in my life. And I'm at a point now that no matter what type of insecurities I may have, because trust and believe, I have insecurities. I have insecurities about my face, acne, the bumps. I have insecurities about my mommy pouch, like my belly, my stretch marks. Like it's a lot of different things physically that I have insecurities about. But baby, trust and believe, you see me walk in a room, you would think that I thought I was Beyonce. You would think that I thought that I was Beyonce, because it gets to a point in time that when you consistently and actively work on your self worth, no matter what is happening around you, no matter who's talking around you, it gets to the point to where the only person's validation that matters is yourself. And as long as you feel good about yourself, as long as you know that you are the bomb.com, there's literally nothing that anybody can do or say that will break that from you. It would literally have to be a self-inflicted thing that would make you think otherwise about who you are and how you feel once you get to that point. Now, getting to that point is very hard. You just have to stop seeking external validation and be more accepting of yourself. Because if you can't be who you are, truly who you are, just for the sake of pleasing other people, are those the people that you really need to be around? Because now you're hurting yourself by being a fake version of yourself just to appease other people. And now you're living in a lower space. You know, you're bringing yourself down. And you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to walk and live in your skin freely. And the people who are meant to be around you and near you, they will be. If they don't like who you are, if they don't like how you are, if they don't like how you look, that's their business. They can hate or not like you from afar. You know, I just recently reconnected with a homegirl that I was very close with in high school. And we actually went out to eat a couple of Sundays ago, and we were just talking about our experiences with like friendships and stuff like that. And she was telling me how she didn't realize like just how good it felt to have a friend that was not jealous of you, who loved themselves and they were comfortable in their own skin, and they could just be themselves freely. And people don't understand the importance of that, because her and I, we were talking, and we both have had friends in the past who may not have been as secure with who they were. And there would be different things like I've caught friends trying to mimic my every move. I've caught friends like literally I would be in the club, you know, in the club, we all fam, but like it didn't feel like it at this point. It felt like I was being mimicked the entire time. Like I would look over and my friend is legit like copying my move. People always tell me I just have a natural sex appeal, I guess. Like it just seems like natural flirtation or whatever the case is. So even when I'm just dancing, like I'm just in my zone. Like I'm not trying to be sexy for nobody. I am not trying to get no niggas to come over to me. I'm legit just in my zone having the time of my life. And it would be cases where I would get talked to in the club, or dudes would like hit on me, and they wouldn't talk to my friends. And so I started peeping, like, they would start doing stuff like me. And it was just this one very specific time. Everything I did, when I looked over, she was doing it. And I was just like, bro, like, even my mom picked up on certain stuff, you know? And so me and this homegirl, the one that I reconnected with, you know, we were just putting emphasis on how important it is to have women in your life who are on the same level as you when it comes to how they feel about themselves. Because, like I stated before, in the last episode, jealousy is just mismanaged exposure. And so if you're a person who's very insecure about themselves, who doesn't love themselves and stuff like that, and you are around this person who just is freely them, they're just them. They love themselves. They could give a F about what anybody else thinks. Like, you're there to maybe learn some things from them. Because even with myself, and I'm about to be very real with y'all. Very real. For the longest time, I thought I was ugly. I thought I was butt ugly. In high school, people used to talk about me. The guys wouldn't really like me like that. I always thought, like, all of these girls are so much prettier than me. Let me tell you something. I don't give a flying F if Rihanna was sitting next to me. I would still think I am the baddest in the room. Flaws and all. I would still think I am the flyest, bitch, in the room. Because that is what knowing your worth, having confidence within yourself, having a high self-esteem, that is what that looks like. Even on my worst day, I could walk in somewhere feeling like crap and still hold my head up high because I love and respect myself that much. I know physically I may not be appealing to everybody, and that is okay. That is okay. I'm 1000% okay with that. But nobody can sit here and tell me, oh, Sierra, you're ugly or this and that, and it makes me bat an eye. No, baby, you might need to go get you some glasses. But yeah, it takes a lot of time to get there. And so what are some ways that we can get there, ladies and gents? Like, come on, let's talk about it. So, one of the biggest things that hurts you when it comes to your goal and increasing your own self-worth and self-esteem is negative self-talk. You know, when you consistently talk bad about yourself, like, it's just like, come on. Like, if I constantly wake up every day and I'm like, oh, I'm so ugly today. Oh, I'm so ugly today. Oh, I'm so ugly today. Eventually you just gonna believe that you're just an ugly motherfucker. Like, and I can admit, I still do this sometimes. Like, even this week, like, this week is my birthday. So this will be posted on Thursday. My birthday is Friday. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all share this video as my birthday present. But even this week, like, I just kept saying, like, I look homeless. Like, I look homeless. I look homeless. Now, because I've worked on myself so much, it doesn't affect me as much as it would have back then when I barely had an ounce of love for myself. But you have to constantly speak good things, positive things about yourself. And when you're so used to talking negatively about yourself, telling yourself what you can't do or how you suck at this or how, you know, you're just constantly talking down upon yourself, the devil is always going to use that to his advantage because his main purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy. And so if he can't kill you, he's gonna steal that confidence. He's gonna destroy whatever ounce of confidence that you do have. And once you allow him into your mental and he's constantly in there, it's gonna be hard to get him out. And so our first lady at church, Pastor Shamika Daniels, at her women's conference, she said something about positive self-talk and self-worth. And she was basically saying she looks at it as a match of tennis. And she said, basically, the devil is going to serve you up with some negative self-talk. He's going to get to that mental, right? And as soon as he serves you up, you serve him right back. And You say, I rebuke that. So say you start getting random thoughts in your mind and you're like, oh, I can't do this. No, I can do it. I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me. Something else negative comes my way. Well, I don't look good. I'm perfect. I'm perfect just as I am. Like you have to constantly fight those thoughts out of your mind because one thing about the enemy, oh, he gon' just as much and just as hard as God be working, the enemy work just as much and just as hard. It's that's why I said before, it's something that I had consistently and actively work on even till this day. And I feel like I'm a very confident individual. I feel like I walk in a room and I can just get all the attention. I feel like I walk in a room and I'm very confident about myself, even in spaces where it's just me by myself. I don't feel like I'm drowning in these thoughts of negativity about myself. I may sometimes have fear and I may sometimes have these things that the devil sends to attempt to bring me down. But when you practice positive self talk and you practice these things on a consistent basis, eventually things just get easier. You start to look at yourself differently. You start to feel, you feel differently about yourself. You know, that external validation that you were seeking from others, you don't necessarily feel it as much anymore. You know, I had an issue. I used to have this issue where I would be on social media 25/8. I mean, there couldn't be a thing that happened in my day that social media couldn't know about. I mean, like, it was ridiculous. I was on social media so much. Part of that was me seeking external validation. It was me wanting to feel important because I didn't feel important in my own private life. It was me trying to cry out for help. I think part of this season, yeah, part of that season, I was with abusive ex. I mean, but really just growing up as a girl and all of the different issues that I had, family wise, like not really feeling like I was comfortable within myself as a girly girl because of the type of upbringing I had and all the masculinity I was around. It was just kind of, I can admit, it was kind of like pick me ish, you know? Before pick me was a thing, it was kind of pick me ish. And that was all a part of me seeking external validation from other people. You know, I felt like if I didn't have this or if I didn't look this way or the girls are wearing makeup, like I don't wear makeup. I'm 1000% natural. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear weave like that. If I do, it might be like some twists, but like wigs and stuff, I've never had a wig in my life. I've probably had a sew in maybe like 5 times in my life. Like my nails are even real. These are my nails, even though they need to get done, which I'm gonna go get them done after I get done recording this. But like even these are my real nails. And so it was hard to grow up in a society who glamorized all of these fake things about yourself. And then I'm supernatural. I have acne. I have dark spots. You know, I may not dress like all the other girls or look like all the other girls with their enhancements and their full face. And but it was hard trying to navigate my femininity where I grew up in a space of just full blown masculinity my entire life, also while trying to fight the standard, I guess I would say, of what a woman was while I was growing up in that era. Trying not to compare myself too much, but also stand within who I was as a person. That was very hard for me. And so, yeah, a lot of times I was just going to social media, just posting stuff. To be honest, I could probably go back on my Instagram today. I wouldn't even know what the hell I was posting. But anywho, yeah. So it is a very real thing. And I am about to be 28 tomorrow because y'all will see this Thursday. Yeah, I will be 28 tomorrow. And it took me a very long time to get here and be okay with who I am. it took me a long time to be okay with the fact that it's okay if them niggas don't want you. It's okay if them niggas don't think that you're cute. It's okay if they want the BBL and the bundles and the makeup. It's okay if they don't want natural and natural belly with a mamba. Like, that's fine. That is okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the people who are meant to be in your life will be in your life. And they'll serve a purpose in your life, whatever that purpose might be. So we can't get stuck on trying to be something or someone else and try to represent something outside of who we truly are, just to try to get the life that we think that we want because we think it's going to be fulfilling to us. But in reality, when we get it, it's just a load of crap. And we recognize that we just did all of this BS to ourselves. We just completely defiled who I am as a person just to get these people around, and they ain't shit. Not even a little bit. So, what's a good way to work towards this self love, the self acceptance, right? First, you want to make sure that you reflect on your strengths, your resilience, and and your uniqueness. And I want to put an emphasis on the uniqueness because we live in a society, we live in a society where cancel culture is a big thing if it doesn't align with the overall ideology of how society feels, which 9 times out of 10 can be very shallow anyways. If it doesn't align with how society feels, you're automatically deemed as lame or uncool, or uh for dudes, I would say sassy, or what they call Russell Wilson? What they call Russell Wilson? What is it? A sap? I feel so old right now. Anyhow, yeah, it's like people will talk down on you for standing in your own true self, for being unique to who you are. And if anything, people should be glorifying the fact that there are still people out here that in this messed up world, people are still willing to stand in their own uniqueness. You know, when everybody kind of just follows behind one another, even with the way that people dress. Like, I may not like your outfit, but I'm not gonna talk down on you about it. Like, it may not be a personal thing for me. I might not mess with it. But if you're confident in how you feel in that outfit and that's your style, baby, rock it. Rock it. You know, I've had people come and ask me for, and I don't even consider myself as a fashionista. I don't. I wear what I feel is cute. I don't care if it's from the dollar store. If I see it and it's cute, I'm going to wear it. And I've had people like ask me like, "Oh, can dress me, or can you do this or like you just be so cute." And to be honest with y'all, there are some things that I wear that people will say is butt ugly, and that is 100% okay. You want to know why? Cuz I like that shit. And I really don't care about what other people think. Because if I'm spending my money on it, if I like it, I'm going to wear it. Now, if I spend my money on it and I can't really style it for real, then it's just going to sit in my closet until I can. But like, society focuses too much on moving as a unit when it comes to these styles and these movements and stuff like that, that it ultimately begins to hurt people's self-worth, because if their beliefs and ideology does not align with what the whole thinks, they kind of start to feel like that they're not worthy, like maybe I'm not good enough. And that's not the case. So it's just all about how you feel about yourself. Like, literally, that is it. So, like I said, we reflect on our strengths, our resilience, and our uniqueness. Write down what are the positive things about yourself that you like. Write down what are some of your strengths. Like for me, I feel like one of my strengths is I could start a conversation with anybody. Now, am I always in the mood to start that conversation? No. But I really do feel like I could excuse me, I really do feel like I can talk to anybody. I'm very personable. I feel like my ability to be empathetic with people is something that makes me stand out, because even if it is a very messed up situation, I feel like that I could still put myself in that other person's shoes and still try to empathize with them, even if I feel like what they did was dead wrong. I feel like that type of compassion towards other people really makes me stand out in a lot of different cases, whether it's personal, business, whatever the case is. And yeah, I'm low key a perfectionist, even though it could be something that hurts me at times. I feel like it's something that helps because when I know something, and you can't tell me nothing else about that. So, like, you have to look at what are the positive things about yourself? Like, what are the things that make you stand out as a person? But moving on, we have to remember the importance of self compassion, being patient with yourself, just loving on yourself, just being okay with the process. None of these things that I'm talking about on this podcast will happen overnight. Literally nothing. Literally nothing. Yeah. Like all of these things take time. All of these things take intentionality. All of these things take you showing up for yourself every single day. And so some days that might look like you having a rough day and you just talking crap about yourself all day. Another day, you might be more intentional with catching the negative self-talk and fighting back against the enemy when he's throwing stuff your way. Another day, it might be half and half. You do good in the morning, you kind of trash at night. Showing up doesn't mean that you show up in the exact same way every single day. Showing up means that you showed up. Whether you're up here today, you're down there tomorrow, or you just only had enough to give 1%, but you showed up. Because the more you show up, the more your mindset gets into that mental space of, okay, this is what we're doing. Even if I'm not going 100% every day, this is what I'm doing. I'm here. I'm getting my body acclimated to doing this new thing that it's not used to doing. So just show up for yourself because it's going to help you in the long run. Even to this day, on this, I've been on my specific self love journey since May of 22. It is now February of 25. So it's almost 3 years. But this is something that I've been working on even before I knew I was intentionally working on. This is something I've been working on since I was like 21. So I would say 7 years. It's never going to get to a point to where you no longer have to show up for yourself. I will say that. You will always have to show up for yourself because you're always going to be tested. There's always going to be people coming at you testing your own self-worth and self-love for yourself. They're going to come in and question your self-esteem. They're going to come in, they're going to intentionally try to bring you down. Like even in dating, like I've had guys tell me stuff like, your value is diminished because you had a child out of wedlock. Boo-hoo. Just because that's true to you doesn't mean that that has to be true to me. Two things can exist at the same time. That might be your perspective and how you feel. You may not want to have a relationship with someone who had a child out of wedlock. That's your business. You are in every way entitled to feel that way. And I'm not taking that away from you. But if you think you telling me that is going to make me budge about how I feel about myself, baby, you got the wrong one. You got the wrong one. You have the wrong one. And I think it shows up the most in dating because in dating, when you're getting to know new people, that's when your vulnerabilities, that's when your insecurities and all of that is shown the most because someone has to be able to get to know the raw you. They have to get to know the you that you don't want the rest of the world to see. And so it shows up, for me personally, it shows up the most in dating, in my opinion. But, that's why it's so important. Like, I always tell women, like, if you're not confident within yourself, do not date, bro. Because these niggas, even the sweetest men, like, these niggas can be rude. And sometimes they say stuff about us that will completely crush us, even if they said it in the most sincere way possible. And so, if you don't love yourself, if you are not confident within yourself, and you're out here dating, and now this nigga out here critiquing you, and now you just like going through it because now you think you're not worth a damn, and you think your breath stank all the time, and you think that god dang, like you're just big when you really this big, like it, just don't do it. Because if you find yourself seeking validation from a man, you're putting your own self-worth and your judgment of yourself in the hands of a man, especially in the hands of a man that you barely even know, baby, you are putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. And trust me when I say it's very dangerous, because I've been in one of those type of situations. Men can sense, kind of like how certain animals can sense fear on you. It's like men can sense when we don't love ourselves. Men can sense that on us, that vulnerability state, especially narcissists. Narcissists, and they love that shit. They love it. And with me dealing with my abusive ex, I can't even tell you how many different times he has played like mental games on me, regarding different situations and stuff. And if I had a stronger sense of self-worth, if I had more love for myself, if I had more trust in myself and my ability to be able to make certain decisions, that man wouldn't have got far with me. Knowing who I am today, abusive ex wouldn't stand a chance. Abusive ex wouldn't stand a chance. But back then, I was seeking my own personal validation through him. And that's where I messed up at. I thought, oh, you got to do with a little money. Oh, he got a little motion. He seemed kind of well known. Niggas know him. Like, oh, he a shooter and he older. Yeah, all of that does not make you any less of a lame nigga if you are already a. And it took time for me to learn that. And that's okay. Like, we all go through things, but I'm hoping if you're watching this that you can take something away. And if you are in a space where you're seeking validation in other people, that you would just stop dating, sweetheart. Just how I tell guys, like, if you are in a messed up financial situation, do not date, because that girl does not need the worst version of you and you treating her like crap all because you upset that your money ain't right. Like, I feel like there's certain things, men and women were created differently. I feel like there's certain things that we need to have intact for us to be able to be mentally and emotionally stable enough to go out and try to incorporate somebody else into our life. And I know with men, a lot of who they are revolve around their financial status, their status within society, the things that they're doing with themselves. And for women, a lot of it deals with how they look. This might not be true for everyone, but for the majority it is. With how society is for the majority, that is the truth. And so if anything that of that nature for either sex is messed up, just take time for yourself, Sugarfoot. Just take a little bit of time. Because you want to be able to show up as the best version of yourself. Like, you don't want to show up half-assing. And then now you kind of giving this person like, like, here, damn. I'm gonna give you this just so you can leave me alone, but it's not gonna be the best version of me, you know? But yeah, we ain't about to sit on here for too much longer, y'all. Cause I'm really trying to keep these episodes at 30 minutes, but I just get on here and I start yapping. So promise I'm gonna do better with preparing these episodes. But anywho, let's get to it. Rebuilding your self-esteem. What do we want to do? We want to do daily affirmations and positive self-talk, right? Depending on what you believe in or whatever the case may be, you can do positive affirmations using things that are said in the Bible, or you can just say things like, I'm beautifully and wonderfully made, I'm strong, I'm confident. Like, and let me say this, when you're in a state of having low self-esteem, saying affirmations to yourself in the mirror is very hard to do. And I don't think people understand that, because it's like, I'm looking at myself already distraught about who I am and how I look as an individual. I already don't like myself. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, you are strong. You are beautiful. I don't believe any of these things about myself. So a lot of people understand the power of saying affirmations to themselves, but they don't understand just how hard it is to start that process, especially when you're in a state of where you don't have high self-esteem, where you don't really love yourself like that. Like, that is a very difficult thing to do. So even if you just start with one affirmation a day, just one, you have to start somewhere. Like I said before, just show up. Just show up. Show up for yourself and see how well things go. Just show up. right? And then we want to do the positive self talk. Of course, that's going to be something that happens during the day. You just kind of want to catch yourself in the midst. Like, if you have a thought in your mind and it's something negative about yourself, you want to say out loud, I rebuke that. Or you want to say out loud, I don't receive that. And then you rebuttal back with whatever it is that you are wanting to receive in your life. If a thought in your mind pops up, I'm so ugly, and these are just examples, I'm so ugly, say out loud, I don't receive that. I am beautiful. I am perfectly made. That's how you do it. I started doing that with other people. One thing that my family does that I really don't like is that they always talk about you, like body shame wise. And like I said, stated before, I know it's just something that's been passed down, but I've really tried to stop that shit at me because it's not cute, it's not funny, and it's not uplifting at all. And so, anyways, it was one day that my mom said something to me, and I don't know if it was about some pants that I had on, or maybe it was a TV show. It was something that she said to me. And all I could remember was, and I'm still working on myself when it comes to responding to the negativity that's thrown my way from family members. So what I do to help myself is I walk away. I know it might not be the best resolution right now at this moment, but it's the best thing for me because I don't want to get to the point to where I'm making the situation worse by just saying negative things and serving them back with what they're giving me. So I just kind of just step away from it. And in my mind, I'll say, I don't receive that. Or even just out loud, I'll just say, I don't receive that. Like, I'm perfectly fine with who I am, how I am. Because one thing I've realized is you can tell somebody that they're doing something that's bothering you, but I'm not about to tell you 10 different times. If I've already had 2 conversations with you about this and we're all grown and above the age of 25, because everybody's frontal lobe is developed by the age of 25. If I've had more than 2 conversations with you about this and there's still nothing changes, I can give you grace and understanding to know that maybe you just, I don't know, maybe you got something going on, you want to change. But now I have to redirect myself in what I need to do to make sure that your actions and your words are not breaking down this barrier of self-love that I've created for myself. I've worked hard to build this wall, and I'm not about to have somebody come and pick it apart just for the sake of trying to be funny, like, because there's nothing funny about how I feel about myself. And so I found myself just walking away, or I just will like just shut up. I don't say anything. Like, the second something negative comes out of somebody's mouth that I have grown up around, I just shut up. And I know they probably think I'm crazy, but it's something very intentional that I do because I don't want to cause problems, but I also don't want to receive whatever it is that they're telling me. Like, I remember specifically somebody made a joke about some pants I had on. They told me I was cute, and then in that same breath told me that it was some leather pants. My booty was popping. And they made a joke about my leather pants or something like that. And I just walked off because I'm not entertaining anything that does not bring myself up. I'm not. I've literally entertained more than enough of that for an entire lifetime. I will not allow myself to take in whatever insecurities that other people are trying to project onto me, or I won't take in any type of hate or negativity directed at me, especially if I didn't do anything to you. Especially, like, if it's just unwarranted negativity, no, leave that over there. Because I'm on a journey of self-love and healing, and right now my heart can't take that, especially from somebody I love. So to save the both of us, I'm just gonna walk away. And it is what it is. But yeah, what else can we do? We can engage in empowering activities. One thing for me that really helped, I was doing the pole dancing. Some people will say that yoga makes them feel empowered. Some people will say that their sexy heels class. I actually took one. It was so fun. And I'm not a dancer like that. Like I can do like chair dancing, pole dance and stuff like that, but like dancing, like that's not me. But I took one. It was amazing. But yeah, just find something that interests you that makes you feel empowered. And it doesn't even have to be anything around the aspect of you feeling sexy. That's just something that helped me with my confidence. But even if it's something physical that makes you feel empowered once you reach a new level, like rock climbing, or shoot, even if you feel like you gotta go skydiving to feel a little empowerment or something like that, just do what makes you feel good on the inside. Like what makes you feel like that girl, and continue to do it, because that is a slow way to heal your heart. When you are doing an activity and you can slowly start to love your way, you slowly start to love yourself more the more that you do this activity. It's a very beautiful thing. And the last thing, you just want to consistently practice loving yourself. And that looks different for everybody. That process is not the same for every single person, but you just have to figure out, what parts of yourself do you not like? And maybe start to do things that help you like that part more. Like for me, after I gave birth, it was very hard for me to love my body. It's very hard. And I know a lot of people feel like that's not a big deal because a lot of new moms go through that. But, the one thing that I said that I didn't want to happen happened. And that was for me to get the mommy pouch. That was the one thing I said I can deal with anything else. As long as I don't get this mommy pouch or the loose skin or whatever, like I'm okay. And that is exactly what the Lord handed. He swear he funny. But yeah, it took a very long time for me to get used to that. I mean, like, y'all, I'm like a year or 2 years postpartum and people are asking me if I'm pregnant. Like asking me how far along I am. Like, seriously? For real. Like, and it used to strip me of any small piece of confidence I had. So what did I do? I did things to practice loving myself. I wore fitted dresses that showed my stomach. It was not something that I liked to do, but it was something that I felt like I had to do in order to get used to my body. I got a trainer. I had 2 trainers. I fell off for a minute. I got back in the gym April of last year. I've been going to the gym consistently since then, and my stomach has gone down. So it's like you have to do things that can help enhance the love that you have for yourself, whatever that might look like. But the only person that will have the answer to what that looks like is you. But yeah, I think this was one of my favorite episodes, y'all. Because I just love talking to women and telling them to freaking love yourself, bitch. Yeah. But yeah, just know that wherever you are right now, whatever stage you are at, you are still enough. One thing I love about God is God meets you where you are. You could be a drug addict that's on the street and you a prostitute and you done robbed 50, 11 people and then had 10 abortions, had 2 kids that you don't take care of, and God is still going to meet you where you are and give you that unconditional love. And so if you have a God that is willing to love you like that, despite your situation, despite who you currently are in this moment, I think we should be able to give ourselves just a tiny bit of grace and start to try to experience what loving ourselves feel like and experiencing what that looks like. We all go through things, we all mess up, we all make mistakes, we all get involved with things that we shouldn't, and life just be life and sometimes, and we get wrapped up in it. But regardless of what's going on around you, regardless of the people around you, love yourself. You are. And before you leave today, drop a comment. Tell me how you like the episode. Follow the Women's Vault podcast on Instagram. Subscribe to this channel. And we will see y'all next week.